everybody, welcome into Farm Cooking with Nan. I just popped a can of Crescent. These are Crescent rolls, you know. This is a very different type casserole, but you know, it's coming up, won't be long till Thanksgiving. And I'm just going to say that, you know, we're always looking for different casseroles. And this, I saw a lady do this. To tell the truth, I can't even remember her name right now. But I would definitely tell y'all about it. Now, I've never found her. And she popped up on my feed. And she was doing a type of this casserole. Mine's a little different, but now I can't even remember her name. Now you can do this in a 9 by 13 inch baking pan, okay? But I am going to make it smaller because Pop and I needed a smaller casserole. Not going to waste this. I will bake that for him. Okay, I'm going to spread these little pieces together. Push it all, I'm gonna push them all the way down. Like I said, you can make this in a 9 by 13 inch baking pan, and I will give you, I'll just cut it down. Young'uns, this is probably a 10 by 10 or whatever, maybe a little bit bigger, but this is all we need. We don't need one, it's so big. I just got through chopping an onion, one whole onion. And you say, well, Nan, that's a lot. Well, you know what? It's all right because we like onion. We really do. We like onion. And we'll spread that out over this. Then I'm going to take, this is probably a good 3 or 4 cups of broccoli that I had broccoli florets. Well, I missed one there. Hang on a minute. And I chopped them with my little chopper there. I love broccoli, so you know I'm going to put every bit of this in there. It was a good 3 to 4 cups. I will try to give you all a better... let me set that right there because I've got my... I just thawed some... what do you call it? I just thawed some broth that I had put up. A lot of times I put it in the freezer. Well, there's another little piece. Now, all my broccoli's ready. I'm going to set this to the side. And we're going to, I don't think I need to chop that anymore. I'm going to clean this up. I can't bear it, sorry. I'll just throw that in there. It's just a little bit of broccoli. Okay, I'm going to put, this is some chicken that I had left over from another meal. I'd say this is 2 cups right there. And like I said, I'm making a smaller casserole. I will give you all the recipe. I'll try to write down the recipe for, the full-size 9 by 13 inch casserole. And then if you all want to do like I did and cut it down smaller, you can do that. I'm just making sure my chicken is all shredded up. It's still cold where I thawed it. Now, I'm going to put in 1 can of cream of chicken soup. Now, the full recipe will call for 2 cans. 1 can of cream of chicken and a cream of celery. But if you don't like celery, just use 2 cream of chicken. Now, like I said, I'm doing the cut down version. I hope this doesn't confuse anybody. Make sure. I see, yeah, look how much I got out of the bottom there. You just don't realize how much you waste. I know I'm complaining about that, but you waste a lot. I'm going to put 1 8-ounce block of cream cheese that is very soft. Make sure I get everything out of there. I'm just going to grab a spoon that's a little harder to where I can really squeeze this a little bit harder down in there. I'm going to put, instead of salt, I'm going to use celery salt. Since, I mean, I love cream of celery, it's all right. But I'm going to put a little celery salt in this. Measure with your heart. Put a little celery salt is what that is. And don't be on me. Say, hey, Nan, oh, Lord, that's got sodium. There is sodium in that 1 can of cream of chicken. I'm going to put 2 pinches of black pepper. Trying to think if I left something out. And stir this up real good. I'm gonna grab my cheese. Turn that up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Making sure I get all that cream cheese mixed up. Now let me grab my cheese and we'll get on with it. Okay, I'm going to use what I've got left of this Sargento cheddar cheese. This is extra sharp cheddar cheese. There's probably about a cup right there. I'm going to put that in there and see how far that goes. Like I said, I am, you know, I'm making it smaller for me and Pop. And then I grated some medium cheddar cheese. And it started to crumble on me. So, I'm just going to finish crumbling that on up. I will give you all a recipe. I will. Don't want to waste any of this. Stir it up real good. Now, I'm going to put just a little bit of broth. I have been thawing my broth, and so it's a little bit of water on top, but I'm going to put just a little bit of broth. I don't even know if that was 1/4 cup. You don't want it so stiff that you can't do nothing with. Not much more, just maybe, that was a total maybe of 1/3 cup. Now, when I give you the real recipe, it'll be for a full size. Yeah, see, I could probably even put just a hair bit more. Probably, that was probably a total of 1/2 cup. There's a lot of casseroles and stuff. This was called a chicken casserole, but I don't think it should have been called a chicken casserole. I think it should have been called chicken and broccoli casserole. But it's very different having that bottom layer. I was told it's like a crust. And that once you have it, you're addicted, that everybody wants them to bring it for whatever's going on. have to get me a spatula. Get my spatula back up here. I'm going to spread this all over that. Two more things and we'll be finished. Let me get some of this cleaned up. I grated a little bit more of the cheese. We'll sprinkle this all over the top. Bet this would be a good dish. Can't wait to taste it. I bet this would be a good dish to take, you know, just say a neighbor is sick or whatever, or you need to take something for a funeral. You know how we Southerners, we cook for funerals. I don't know if they do it everywhere else or not, but we do. Or potluck. A lot of people are having their homecoming at their church. Usually September and October are big homecoming times. And so this would be a great dish, something different. Now I'm going to take some of these little Ritz crackers. You know me. Why should you crush them up whenever you can do it in your hands? Some people might like really, really big pieces, but I like the smaller pieces. Now, at this point, we can put this in a bowl, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I like it better than pouring the butter on it. Okay, I put that cheese over the top. Y'all saw that. I used 3 of these little small Ritz crackers. If you're going to use, you could use a whole 1.5 of your big ones if that's what you want to do. I did a 1/2 stick of melted butter, and 3 of those little mini packs or snack size packs of the Ritz crackers. Just don't want to make them soggy, just wanting to hit them with just a little bit of butter. You know, I don't think you need, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to say. I don't think you need more than, you probably could do it with 1 long pack, because this is a lot. I can always put this, if I don't use it all, I can always put it in a Ziploc bag and put it in my freezer. Well, maybe I will use it all. Maybe I will. But really, I'm going to give y'all the recipe that I did today, because this filled up a 10 by 10 dish. And I just feel like that if you can cut down a little bit, instead of using, you know, 1 can of the cream of celery and 1 can of the cream of chicken, if you can just use 1 and then put a little celery salt to give it that flavor, then you know what? That's all you need. That's all you need. So we're going to put this in a 350-degree oven, and I will let y'all, because everything in it's about done. You know what I'm saying? We just need it to get hot and bubbly. I'm probably going to say maybe 30 minutes, but I'll let y'all know exactly how long before it, it comes out. Okay, I double checked that. It was $3.75 for 30 minutes. So let's get this in there. I already put in that little piece of extra crescent roll dough on a little pan to bake for Papa, but I was going to tell you, I'm just going to write down the recipe as I made it today because I think it's going to be much better than maybe the one that I wrote down. So, you know, I'm always changing things. So we'll be back. Okay. Let me tell you, this is hot and bubbly. Hot and bubbly. I got a little dish. Got a little dish out. And got me a fork. I needed to have let this rest. When you make it, don't do as I did. I just took it right out of the oven and then got a little dish out into this. This is my lunch. This is my lunch. And you say, Nan, that's got some crackers on it. You know, they fussed at me at the doctor's office and told me I needed to eat more carbs because I've not been eating hardly any carbs, you know, almost zero sugar. And they said, your body has to have so many carbs to even be able to function. One thing I did want to tell you all was I went back and looked at my little recipe I wrote down, and it was bake 30 minutes at 375 instead of 350. It's 375. Oh my goodness, this is so hot. Whew, this is hot. So I'm going to let this cool just a second while I pray. Lord, thank you for this food. Thank you for this day, Lord, and thank you for guiding our footsteps, Lord. Thank you for being with us the whole way, Lord. You're right beside of us, Father. Thank you for the Holy Spirit that lives within me, Father, that he speaks to me, corrects me, and thank you for this food. Thank you in Jesus' sweet holy name. Amen. Hot. That crust is crunchy, brown, and crunchy. Isn't it amazing how that just look at it right there. It browns right up and makes a nice brown crust. It's like, it's delicious. It's really good. This would be great as a new type of casserole or whatever for your Thanksgiving table, for your Christmas, whatever, for a gathering that you're having at church, whatever's going on. It is really good. I'm going to have, I don't know if I can eat all that. I might eat just a few bites, but it's very good, and it's definitely will be made again at my house. Just want y'all to know that I appreciate y'all coming over. I really do. I appreciate y'all coming over and watching me. I'm going to start doing a little series. I want to tell you, it's funny because I was just talking to Juju today, and she said, Nan, you've got 30-some boxes of cake mix. She said, why don't you do a cake series? And I said, well, you know, I don't mind to bake one for Pop, and he eats on it. I don't need any. I don't even get a bite of it. But I said, I need to deliver it here and there and yonder. And we said, yeah, you could take it to the doctor's office, the dentist office. Gabby works, my granddaughter works at the dental office. And my friends at the doctor's office that I go to Bella works at the bank. Take those guys a little cake to snack on. So I might do a different cake each week and deliver them, and maybe show y'all where I'm delivering to, because I don't need to let those cake mix sit there. I need to use those cake mixes up, okay? It's funny because I had somebody, I think it was a troll, I really do. You know, those trolls, they steal other people's names. And I just can't imagine looking in this woman's face to think she would be so ugly. So I'm trying to see the best in the situation and hope that somebody has stolen her name or her identity or whatever, and they would say these things. But they came over there and said that you say you live on a farm, said in here you buy vegetables at the supermarket and you use box cake mix. And I thought to myself, you don't know, lady, you haven't been following me. You don't know that I have 34 or 35 cake mixes sitting in there in a box. And yes, I'm going to use them. I'm not a waster. And she said, the people in the UK are rolling in the floor when you call yourself a farm cook. So I just thought to myself, I probably shouldn't have given her that 5 seconds worth of fame, but she got blocked. Or if it's a scammer, they got blocked. So it's just a shame, young'uns. I've got all these cake mixes and I'm not going to waste them. So I'm going to tell y'all ahead of time. About once a week, I'm going to be doing a cake. Maybe twice. It depends on what's going on. But once a week, I'm going to be doing a cake. And I'm going to be delivering it to some of my friends. And loving on people. It's a good season. Thanksgiving is to love on people. And I love to love on people by cooking for them. By making something that I know that they love. So just going to give you a heads up on that. And tell you that I really felt sorry. I did want to say, I really felt sorry for the lady that, you know, I just thought if you would say something like that, my heart just hurts for you. That there's what's ever in the heart's going to come out the mouth. And I thought, how ugly, you know, how ugly. But I just hope that if it really was her, that she'll repent and come to the Lord before it's too late. Well, listen, I'm going to go. Want you to know the Lord loves you so very much. Don't ever forget that. Get up in the morning and put yourself right where it needs to be. Right behind the footsteps of the Lord. If you will follow him during that day, and this is 4 fingers coming back at me, but if we will follow him during the day and walk in his footsteps and ask him, Lord, guide my feet today, guide my mouth, what you want me to say, what you don't want me to say, and he'll do it. He will do it. So I hope you never forget how much the good Lord loves you. And never forget how much I love y'all too. And I appreciate you watching with me. And I appreciate you coming every day. Just so sweet. I had some sweet followers meet with me yesterday. They called me and they were coming through this area and said, Nan, can we meet with you? And I said, well, sure. And so it was Jeff and Carol Veal. And they are from Georgia. And they were sweet, sweet people. And I had such a good time with them. And I hope that they weren't let down in meeting me. That's all I got to say. I'm definitely not Brenda Gant, for sure. I'm just a plain old farm cook, you know. But I love Miss Brenda. But I hope they weren't let down. Well, I will see you next time, Lord willing, okay? Bye-bye.